Hi, Mikey. I heard you've been having a tough time lately, and I thought I'd extend my hand. My one goal is to give you a glimmer of hope from all this, just so I can hopefully make sure you stick with us a little bit longer, just day by day. That's all you have to do, take it day by day. Shit slowly gets better, and your perspective on life will follow. Realizations that you need to be here will resurface. Remember, things can get worse, but they always get better. Always. I'll never understand what you're going through because everyone's depression manifests differently. However, I thought talking about my struggles could possibly shed some light on similarities we share and how you're not alone. For me, there was a point in senior year where all terrible things in my life started to suffocate me. Terrible situations and fights with my dad led me to feel worthless, angry, and lost. Seasonal depression hit me especially hard, and November through January weather made me feel dreary and sad. I came home every day from school worrying anxiously about hours of homework a night. On top of that, college applications had me in a chokehold as I started to collapse under the expectations of my family and the accumulation of the past 4 years depending on one application. I had a terrible relationship with my high school coach that made me question my self-worth every day. The mix between marijuana, antidepressants, and sleep deprivation accelerated my suicidal ideations. I woke up every day exhausted, empty, and hopeless, and the idea of self-harm felt so liberating. I thought, if I killed myself, all my problems would go away. I feel so depressed every day, when will it stop? I entertained the idea of slitting wrists or hanging a couple of times a week. What is stopping me? If living is this hard, why don't I end it and save myself all the pain from experiencing the terrible things ahead of me? The world would be better off without me anyways. And even worse, I didn't give a shit about what anyone said to me. No matter what anyone said, nothing got through to me, and that's why I never considered writing a suicide note. I think I understood my mom, brother, and maybe a few others would be pretty devastated, but it was never about failed parenting or lack of love. Other people can and do affect your mental health, but the willingness and desire of suicidal thoughts is someone's own battle. This was about my mind feeding lies and distorting my logic. How I viewed it was that people always learn to live with what they have, so eventually in a few months' time they'd move on or even forget about me. Then, all my problems would be gone and the scar on my loved one's heart would be healed. My brain was convincing me to destroy myself, and man did it work well. That's how I would describe my suicidal thoughts. The depression in my brain tricked myself into thinking suicide is so objectively right. I was obsessed with dying, and I was so close to losing it all. I'm praying the grave realities of my own experiences don't dig a deeper hole for you, but show you that you are not alone, and you never will be. This too shall pass. A couple of weeks after being in the hospital, I felt a little more comfortable and safer with myself. In the beginning of 2022, I decided to rip off the band-aid and create the Instagram @NoMDC. After making this account, hundreds of people have reached out to me and said the experiences I shared were identical to theirs. I internalized that I'm never alone. Everyone is going through something, whether you want to put a label of mental illness on it or not. And guess what? A year has passed and I truly think I'm out of my 2-year depression. It feels amazing to fight my way out of mental illness, ultimately accepting that there are bad days ahead, but I feel too level-headed and strong enough to not worry about them. I'm on medication that helps tremendously. I'm with the best therapist I've ever had. I journal daily blessings every night. I work out a couple of times a week. I run. I got back into soccer, and I try to maintain my social interactions with people I love. I've been through hell and back, fighting my own mind, and have had some time to reflect on everything. The biggest lesson I've learned is that my relief that I'm alive is not circumstantial. Whether my life has been lovely or miserable, I really just don't care. I'm just so happy I'm still here. Depression is an accumulation of bad things, and happiness is an accumulation of great things. It's going to take some time and effort to start feeling like your normal self, Mikey. It's up to you to pull yourself out of this hole, but I truly believe there's beauty in the struggle. I know for a fact you could do this. I don't and never will understand what you're going through, but no one will ever live your story and walk in your shoes. But I'll tell you one thing, you did not come this far just to come this far. Your life has so much purpose that you can't even wrap your head around, and I guess you're going to have to wait and see what beautiful things life has in store for you. Tragically, depression clouds your mind and shifts your perspective to cater towards self-destruction. Contrary to what I thought, when someone passes away, no one forgets or moves on after their death. If you have had these thoughts like me, your mind has lied to you endlessly about how no one cares about you. What really happens when someone passes away is that they learn to accept death and live with grief. You will never be forgotten, and the pain from your absence will always linger. Remember when I said nothing got through to me? Fortunately, there are 2 stories told during the tail end of my depression that were able to open my eyes a little bit, and they helped a great deal in fully removing self-harm as an option in my life. The first one. My mom has a coworker whose son died by an opioid overdose. Ma goes, "She tells me holidays are the worst, because every holiday, every sit-down meal, when we're trying to enjoy dinner, there's always one empty seat. An excruciatingly painful reminder of a loved one that we don't have a single word left to say or hug to give. Those holidays would go on for decades. This is 50 years of holiday meals sitting with your siblings and parents. You can't do this to your loved ones. We can't do this to our loved ones." Second one. "What would I possibly tell your grandparents if you weren't here?" My mom cried. "How could my parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and siblings conjure up the words to tell my Lola and Lolo the heart-wrenching news? To tell them that I won't be able to come to a family reunion one more time. I don't think my grandparents would be able to physically survive that. They can't handle it. I can't do this to them. Basically, you gotta keep going. You need to trust me on this, Mikey. No matter how you're feeling or what thoughts are investing your mind, you just need to keep going. That's the only thing that all of us really need to do. Because when you take a step back from everything, you'll realize that life is pretty simple. All of the minutiae nitty-gritty, school, grades, jobs, internships, sports, coaches, playing time, social media, friend group drama, none of it matters. We are a small blip in this infinite universe, so we might as well enjoy the short time we have because we are so lucky to be able to experience life. The only thing that truly matters is everyone should enjoy the life they live with the people they love. And if anyone isn't, I believe that should be addressed immediately and urgently. Depending on your situation, it might be best to take a few weeks off of school. Maybe before you go back, situate your mind more and plan different responses to prepare for these bad thoughts. Or maybe a super small break to recharge and staying in school on the same schedule as where you need to be. I know a ton of people feel out their best when they stay revitalized, but also have a lot going on to keep their mind busy, maintaining a lot of healthy relationships with friends and classmates. Another suggestion is try a me day, to reflect without your phone and watch how refreshed you might feel to be able to take on the next few weeks. Before I sign off, I wanted to let you know one last thing. I did a few drafts of this, had my therapist proofread this, then had your brother check it over, and after all of that, I handwrote it and sent it out to you. Me. Just a dude. I took a lot of hours out of my days instead of studying or hanging out with friends to write a letter for you. And you know why? Because I care. I care about you. I definitely would miss you. And in the situation you're in right now, I don't think you wrap your head around how many people truly would. But now that we're officially pen pals, I would most definitely bawl my eyes out if I were to find out you weren't here. So too bad. Sorry, you can't go anywhere. You're sticking with me, with your brother, mother, sister, and father, with your friends, classmates, and teachers that absolutely love you unconditionally, with your cousins that literally can't live without you, with your grandparents who would miss you every year, and with all the people that wouldn't be the same without you. Even my awesome therapist told me to add her to the list of the people that would miss you. We are all so deeply connected. You got this, Mikey. I believe in you so much, and I'm so proud of the person you've become. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for being in my life. You matter. From your new pen pal.